Impact 100 is what we call efficient philanthropy, the idea of one woman, one vote, one meeting. And by that we mean each woman gives a check for $1,050, and together we all pool our money, at least 100 women, each give $1,000, so we can give away a grant of $100,000 to a local nonprofit to make a difference right here in our local community. There's two parts to Impact 100, which is the membership part, which we're all here tonight, and then there's the nonprofit part. And so as of today, I think 55 nonprofits have applied for our grant. So, but believe it or not, tomorrow is the deadline, and you'd be surprised how many grants we get in the last day. Last year we had 86 nonprofits apply for our grant. So interesting, I'm sure we'll be probably closer to that 70 number. So when you think about the opportunity for us to be able to give $100,000 to a nonprofit to make an impact right here in our local community is kind of what we're all about. But I realize I should probably back up and make some introductions. Okay, so I am Tandy Robinson, and I, along with Cindy Krebsbach and Lisa Mahol, co-founded Impact 100 locally here, and Sue Diener and I are currently co-presidents. So we founded it locally, but there are 22 other Impact 100s, I want to say around the country, but now it's around the globe because 2 or 3 are in Australia. So, this was actually founded in Cincinnati. Where's my Cincinnati? Kelly. There you are. And her mom has been telling her about Impact 100 for years, so we all know the moms are right. But Wendy, I said, isn't it kind of scary we're becoming our mothers? Like, she now will join you back now. But she, Impact 100 was founded by a woman named Wendy Steele in Cincinnati, and Wendy is coming to speak on December 3rd. So if any of you are available and would love, I mean, she's incredibly inspirational in her talk. And she was really sort of found, an article that was written about Impact 100 was found by People magazine, and then it got turned over to the Today Show, and needless to say, here we sit tonight. So she is really an inspirational speaker, and she'll be the Delray Marriott, 5:30 to 7:30, Tuesday night, December 3rd.
I have some additional invitations, but if you sign up too before you leave, we'll make sure you get the information.
In an electronic invitation. But anyway, just as a side, so Impact 100, what is it? We say it's one woman, one vote, one meeting. And we call that efficient philanthropy. So the idea is that one woman writes a check for $1,050, and it's $1,000 that goes towards our grant, and I'll explain that. And then you come to, so one woman, one vote, one meeting. On April 10th this year, we are having our meeting where our 5 finalists, so we'll have 5 nonprofit finalists, present what they are asking for our funding to resolve an issue right here in our local community. And at that meeting, you will hear the 5 finalists, you will vote, and right then and there, they will get their $100,000 grant to resolve an issue here in our community. So it's really 1 2-hour meeting and 1 check. So if you want to be as efficient as that, which is originally what attracted me to the concept. But then, of course, if you want to get more involved, we have lots for you to do. You can have a coffee, or you can help with our grant reviewing. So all of the grants, so you might be saying, well, she said 86 apply for the grant, but we have 5 finalists. How do you get from the 86 to the 5? And we do that by our members. So our members actually, behind the scenes, will review and rate and go do site visits of all those that applied for our grant. And though we call them focus area teams. So we have 5 focus areas: arts and culture, environment, education, family, and health and wellness. So you can see we pretty much cover most of the needs for our local community. And so a nonprofit applies for in one of those categories, and then that focus area team reviews and rates, and then we do have a two-part process. So initially, a nonprofit, what they're doing right now is applying for our letter of inquiry, LOI. And so they're applying for a letter of inquiry, and it's a pretty simple application process. And if our members that are reviewing those LOIs feel that they have a good chance of being a finalist, they will invite them back to do a full grant application. And the idea here, and just to give you an example, so last year we had 86 apply for our LOI. We got it down to 29 that then applied for our full grant. And the reason is because doing a grant application for a nonprofit can be a burden. It's a lot of work for them to do. So unless they really have a chance of being a finalist, we don't want to ask them to go through that work. So it's initially an LOI, then they are invited back potentially to fill out the full grant application. And if they are invited back to fill out the full grant application, they are, in fact, every one of those receive a site visit. So our members actually go to whatever location they invite us to, they answer our questions, we hear their story, and then from there, from those, using the example of last year, from those 29, 5 were invited to be finalists, 1 in each of those 5 focus areas, and present to our members. So the pretty exciting thing this year is that we'll have 5 finalists, hopefully we will have 300 members, and so of those 5 finalists, 3 of them would receive the $100,000 grant. Just to give you a little history, our first year we had 148 members, our second year 220, and this year you get the pattern, going for over 300 members to give away 3 grants of $100,000 each. And we recently did a search to see, are there any other grants in this local area of $100,000 that are out there? And I think we found like one healthcare grant.
Yeah, Quantum Foundation and Broward Target did something, but it was very different. So there's not many that would give that kind of money.
So other than government grants that are out there, I mean, really, we're one of, maybe 1 or 2 other $100,000 grants located right here in Southern Palm Beach County. So that's the other thing. We ask our nonprofits they are required to spend the money right here in Southern Palm Beach County. And we define that by Lake Worth Road to the north and the Broward Palm Beach County line, so the Boca Hillsborough line to the south. And the reason for that is that's really where our members live. And so we want the funds to go right back into the community that we live. So we have just focused on Southern Palm Beach County. So we ask them, when they request in their LOI application, they tell us, what it is, what issue they're going to resolve. And, sometimes it is just a matter, we tell them, think big, dream big. If we were to drop $100,000 in your lap, what would you do with that? What community problem would you resolve? And what I've learned in this process is the nonprofits know what the issues are in our community. And they know many of the solutions, and sometimes it is just a matter of funding. And so if we can be here to do that. So the idea is that each of us gives $1,000, and together we pool our funds to give away a grant, at least $100,000. And what we've learned is that when women come together, we're super powerful. Yes?
Tell me about Pensacola.
So Pensacola, okay, so we just got the answer. So Pensacola, who do you think is the most successful? There's 21 Impact 100s around the world. It's Pensacola that is the most successful. They have 765 members. They give away 7 grants, but
Within 9 years.
every year. And I'm like, Pensacola, we're Southern Palm Beach County. And the best that we've been able to figure out, we do need to meet with them, but I think the woman that started it there is high up in the media, and I think it's really been about their PR, but we are well on our way, because our PR and communications major is sitting in the back. So it's pretty cool that Florida has 3, Pensacola, Indian River, which is Vero Beach, which is where we got the idea from, and us. Are there any other
There's some in
Florida
North
ones?
Florida.
Oh, we just learned the North Florida one. So 4 of the 21 right here. Now, there is one in Napa Valley, and I was thinking perhaps we needed a field trip to go and discuss their situation with them.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, they are definitely around, but we're going after that Pensacola 765 number. We're kind of trying each year to step it up to 100 people.
And to tell that all the money goes back, because even the ones that don't get the $100,000 grant, whatever we collect, the first year we did $148,000, that $48,000 got distributed amongst the other 4 finalists. So they were able to do incredible stuff and parlay that into great things that we're getting the information out what they're doing with it. Some almost did what they said they were gonna do, by getting other grants matching and stuff like that. So every little bit is.
Yeah, an example of that was, so all four of them used the funds for exactly what they said they had originally applied for, maybe not to the same extent, but they used them. So I was, apparently there are 5 food deserts right here in southern Palm Beach County, and a food desert is defined by the FDA, is where within a mile or 2 of your home you don't have access to fresh fruits and vegetables. And so they wanted to have a refrigerated truck that would then bring fresh fruits and vegetables and create like a farmer's market where these people could even use food stamps and things to buy these fresh fruits and vegetables. So our $12,000 went towards the truck, the van to buy the fresh fruits and vegetables, but all of them we bought.
And our first grant recipient that year was the Parent-Child Center, who had a team that would help when a child was removed in the middle of the night due to trauma or neglect or risk with their parents. They set up a program that we funded that would bring in a counselor to be with the child all the time. But the exciting thing was, we funded this program, and then they applied to the state for a $500,000 grant, which was awarded, and now the program is really off and running in a much larger area than just our service
It's
area.
the model for the whole state of Florida.
Right.
So they were able to use our grant to show them how it worked in Palm Beach County, and when the state saw it and said, okay, it works, we'll give you the other $500,000 you need to now be a model for the whole state of Florida. So pretty exciting stuff.
No, I was gonna say, so this may segue
Perfect.
into one of our other grant recipients from last year is Women of Tomorrow, and we have guest speaker tonight here. Lisa Peterfront is going to give us a few words about Women of Tomorrow, what they're doing with our $100,000 grant, and then we have a special guest speaker that's going to tell us a little bit about the program too from her perspective.
So I'm not just Women of Tomorrow, I'm one of them, or one of you. So what happened was, about a year and a half ago, Cindy and Lisa came to me. I'm very fortunate, I have a small family foundation. They said, you need to join this group called Impact 100. And I was like, I had no idea what they were talking about, none. But they knew me, and I was like, okay, I trust you, so I gave them $1,000. Now, being somebody, you can make a choice. You can give the $1,000, and then just come to our April meeting, which is fabulous. Or I'm very passionate about the environment, so I said, okay, well, I'll be on the environment committee. So I participated in the environment committee last year. And like they said, 87 and I've been in the nonprofit world forever, but I moved to Palm Beach County in 1999. I have never seen the effect of this kind of money and the efficiency of the spending of the money. But more than that, how they chose, how the process in the grant making. So 86 nonprofits applied. That was reviewed very carefully. And out of those, they were distributed to the 5 granting areas and then whittled down even further. And then, for example, with our environmental grant, we probably had maybe 15 or so that came to us, and we all looked at them and said, maybe 6 of these are really worth our time. And then we carefully went out and we met with the people, and then we whittled and whittled until we had our finalists in the environmental category. So April comes around last year, and I go to vote, and they present, and there's the 4 other presenters, and at the very last, including the environmental presenter, of course I'm going rah-rah, and we come to the finalists, the final in education. And this group I had never heard of, called Women of Tomorrow, starts speaking. Jennifer Valapi. Well, Jennifer Valapi is a TV journalist, and if any of you had been in Palm Beach County a while ago, she was actually started here. She came from Detroit, but she was with the NBC affiliate here in Palm Beach County. She was then recruited to go to Miami when NBC affiliate was at the bottom, and brought it to the top. And the gentleman who was Don Brown, who was the president of the NBC affiliate in 1997, the 2 of them got together and said, Don was into mentoring women and minorities. Jennifer says she had studied in college. What affects women? Do we sit there and think, well, what do the guys think about us? No, it's about our own self-esteem issues. And she said, and even if you have good self-esteem and you go on to a good job and you rise to the top, sometimes those women don't turn around and help mentor others. She said, I want to change that. I want to create an organization that helps mentors young ladies, teens at risk, and today, teens at risk, any girl in high school is at risk. And that's what Women of Tomorrow is. She started with 33 girls in Miami-Dade in 1997. We're now 3,000 girls in all 3 counties in every public high school, Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. Hence, Impact 100. Where do they come in? Well, one aspect of this, they've been here for, Women of Tomorrow has been active here for 11 years. Have you heard of Women of Tomorrow? No. This is not a good thing. So they've been very functional here and expanding into schools. They gave out of all of those grants, they gave 2 $100,000 grants, and one of these $100,000 grants was for Women of Tomorrow, with the purpose of expanding our presence in South Palm Beach County. With this money, we were able to go into every public high school in Palm Beach County, particularly in South Palm Beach County, because we expanded it to everyone. So we are in all 10 in South Palm Beach County, but therefore achieving all 24 public high schools in Palm Beach County. Well, a month later, they posted the job for somebody to actually make this happen. And, well, fast forward, that became me. So I come to you as somebody who passionate about it even beforehand, and then actually walked into it, and I am implementing it now. So I have had the privilege of meeting 2 fantastic women, and I want to bring them up. You both need to come up. Thank you. Both of you, please. Because nobody can tell a story like those that these kind of programs make a difference. So first I want to introduce Mrs. Gonzalez, who is the mother of Jasmine Gonzalez, who's going to Atlantic High. But Mrs. Gonzalez told me a story tonight that I didn't even know, which was her own interest in seeking out the program and what happened. So speak just for a couple of minutes.
Yes, my name is Fior Gonzalez. I come from Dominican Republic. And when I came here to this country, you know, our culture is different, like here. I was worried with the change to my daughter. So when the transfer from middle school to the high school, I was very worried, you know, with her. So I make appointment with her guidance counselor, and I went that day to find, you know, something to keep her very busy in high school. So, she explained me about different programs that the school has. And then I started reading, and I saw Women of Tomorrow. And the name of the program, you know, caught my attention, because that's what I was looking for, you know, prepare my daughter for be a woman of tomorrow. So I was interested, and I asked for that program, but she told me, you know, that for that time they don't accept freshmen. But I was
Persistent.
Yeah.
And by the way, we now focus on freshmen and sophomores, so it must have been her.
So I insist in that, and she tell me, okay, let me ask to the teacher if they accept her, and then I'm gonna let you know. So to the other day, I called the guidance counselor, and she said yes, they accept her. But the most impressed for me and my husband was when she started the program. All the time that she take the class at school, she was very excited. She came home all the time, and she explained. She was very excited and explained to us, you know, what she learned, how she can speak in front of the people, how she can dress. What was how another program was the abuse from
relationships.
Yeah, she all the time when she got home, she explained to my husband and me, you know, the impact that woman of tomorrow impressed on her.
Thank you. So I want to introduce Yasmin, but I forgot to tell you something really important about this program, which is why Impact 100 thought it was a valuable program. The results we have, 93% of the young ladies who go through our program graduate from high school.
But I think what's impressive about that is without the program, when you look at women at risk in the school system, it's less than 50%
Exactly.
graduate. And they literally take those same women and take them to a 93% graduation rate. I think that
Thank
is
you,
what's so
thank you.
valuable.
And 91% go on to college, and we're about to hear about that. So, and how she went in ninth grade and changed her life. So you're on the stage.
Good evening. My name is Jasmine Gonzalez, the third-year Women of Tomorrow mentee. I attend Atlantic Community High School here in Palm Beach County. As a participant of this great scholarship and mentoring program for the last 2 years, I view Women of Tomorrow at Atlantic Community High School as my second family. My fellow mentees, our mentor, Ms. Valley, and our school coordinator creates a trusting and confidential environment where I'm comfortable expressing myself without judgment, which has positively impacted my life. Take a trip with me to my 9th grade year. Imagine a 13, 14-year-old beautiful me. Yes, I know, a little conceited. Go back to my 9th grade year. My grades were declining, I lacked positive problem-solving skills, and it was difficult for me to accept responsibility. See, my social life outweighed my academic life. I had a negative attitude. After my first Women of Tomorrow meeting, I began to look at life a little differently. I learned that my destiny is determined by my decisions, and from that day forth, I was in control of what my life's outcome was. With help from guest speakers throughout the years, arranged by my mentor, I have learned to manage time for my schoolwork and my social life. As a result, my grades have improved, and so has my ability to make positive decisions. Our guest speakers are amazing, addressing topics such as drunk driving, job interview skills, and attire, appropriate etiquette, along with other subjects, which invoke thought and even change in my life. The most impactful of my guest speakers for me was Ms. Jennifer, from AIDS to Victims of Domestic Violence. Ms. Jennifer facilitated a discussion on positive relationships, addressing positive and negative communication, trust, self-love, and confidence when dating. During the discussion, I was able to identify important character traits of trust as I was dealing with trusting others as a result of a horrible breakup. I also gained confidence to move forward in how to set boundaries in relationships. I appreciate the discussion and will always use the techniques learned from that meeting throughout life. Women of Tomorrow has not only helped me to improve my academics, my attitude, and social life, but the program has also exposed me to different types of careers to consider after high school. As a 9th grade student, I hadn't thought about a career after high school. However, that changed after Women of Tomorrow sponsored a field trip to the West Palm Beach courthouse, where I was able to witness a trial. The excitement I felt after the experience led me to desire a career in law as an attorney and learn more about participating in the field, which led to me participating in the Delray Beach Youth Court Program and enrolling in an online law studies course. I enjoyed the youth court program. However, after learning the details of law, I found that I was most interested in operating and owning a business within my local community. Thanks to that one field trip, I was able to start thinking about what type of employment would make me happy early in life, so that I may start planning. Therefore, after high school, I plan to attend Florida Atlantic University and study business management. So one day, I may own and operate a clothing boutique and contribute to changing the world one young woman at a time.
We're so appreciative. So I think that's just a little slice of what we do. That was so wonderful. Thank you very much. So we'd love to invite you to join us. And the commitment is $1,050. And I don't know about you, but I get these things and I bring them home and I've got this pile that goes in the basket. And so I would encourage you just to sign up and join us tonight. And if you want to know more, we are here to answer any questions. And again, I want to thank you so much, Chris and Mel, for hosting us tonight.
Yes.
The $50, you know, it's $1,050, and the $50 is because our 501c3 is the Community Foundation of Palm Beach and Martin Counties. we're a fund of them, so they're the 501c3. And we're technically a loose group of women that all come together and write a check for $1,050, but we pay them a fee. And for that fee, they provide, as I mentioned, that whole online platform where the nonprofits apply for our application. They are our fiduciary for all of the funds that we collect. You write your check to the Community Foundation. They're basically our back office, because we're essentially a group of volunteers. So they provide us with kind of the back office, the stability, the 501c3. They also, at the end of the day, have a check and balance where they approve our finalists. And you know, if for whatever reason we got something wrong, it's nice to know the Community Foundation is behind us and really has helped us in our due diligence process. So that is the fee that we pay to the Community Foundation. I think we all know in the nonprofit world that we have overhead, and that is our overhead. And rather than sort of have galas and events and things like that to try and raise money for our overhead, we just try and be transparent about it and support it by the $1,050. And I will say the Community Foundation, we could not have done this without them. They have not only been our partner in our 501c3, but they've just been incredible mentors and friends to us in this process. So it's a nice
They do
chance.
so much more than the $50.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, they really
We
do.
had them calculate their hours last year, how much time they spent working on Impact 100, and we realized we were not nearly covering the cost, so we are grateful to them as well.
So we invite you to the party. And hopefully you'll join us
We have
and
packets
share, you know, the story, tell 2 friends, keep the repairs
Yeah,
going.
because our whole, we're basically our grassroots organization, and the way that we've gotten to our 220 members last year, and our 300 plus members this year, is these coffees in people's home, and so it's literally tell 2 friends, or someone who reads an article, and they come and sign up. So anyway, we hope you will join us